Greetings. Welcome to my weekend market recap, 6th November 2022. I'm Sagar Nandi, retired IT professional swing trading stocks using the Q systems and techniques that I develop. You may contact me using my email ID info@superiorprofit.co. I regularly share live market and stock analysis on my website superiorprofit.co, Twitter handle Superior Profit, and YouTube channel Trading Profitably. All these are open to the public and you are most welcome to make use of them. Disclaimer: this demonstration is for educational purposes only. I am not an investment advisor. It is not a trade recommendation. Trading involves risk. You and only you are solely responsible for the outcome of your trades. Options trading can be risky. You may refer to the characteristics and risks of standardized options document from Options Clearing Corporation to decide if options trading is suitable for you. I use the Q systems for my trading decisions. They run on Metastock platform and the technical analysis component runs on TradeStation as well. That was the last slide. Let's continue with the live systems. Before starting, at the outset, I'd like to mention that I tweeted just a while ago about this live market session, and in that session I mentioned that I will explain is it the right time to buy stocks now. And remember what I discussed in the previous market recap. Previous Friday closed very bullishly. Probably many people were bullish. However, I explicitly stated that I don't want to consider buying stocks, and indeed I did not even look at any buying possibilities. Today is different. Today I will carry out multiple Q analysis, and the external view, if you look at futures or ETFs, is not telling us to buy stocks, but using the other Q angles I will show that Q traders will find stocks to buy right now. I will look at that, but first of all, let's start with a look at the global markets, starting with Australian index, all ordinaries. In the weekly, all ordinaries is inside a range. It is at the upper edge of the range. In the daily, it came right near the trendline resistance, displayed an indecision signal, bearish indecision, and very next day it fell sharply with a bear release signal. Now if I was trading options in the Australian market and if options are available on all ordinaries, then when I saw the bearish indecision and a bearish shape candle at trendline resistance in daily as well as weekly, I could use short call vertical, and that trade would exit with a handsome profit within one day by Thursday. What about Friday's close? Friday's candle shape is bullish. However, there is no Q trade setup, and even if I have a bullish candle on Monday, it will come very close to the trendline resistance in daily as well as weekly. So I am not going to look for buy setups in Australian market right now. That is using the index analysis. What is the nature of the market? Moving sideways both in daily and weekly. And what is my preferred direction for trading? None. Let's look at the next global market, Japan's Topix Index. Topix index is also moving sideways. However, in this case, it is not at the upper edge, it is right in the middle of the range. That is a no trading area. In the daily, it is inside the middle of the range. However, it also has a trend line support. Friday price came down but closed with an indecisive shape candle. Monday, if price can go down and find support in the daily trend line support, price starts to go up from there, then I will be willing to look for buy setups in fundamentally strong stocks that are also in strong industries. Right now, the market is sideways and my preferred trading direction as of Friday's close is none. China CSI 300 index. This was the worst performing global market among the markets we study. It was sharply going down. Then something interesting happened, and you will see how the Q signals play out time and time again. There was a bullish headwind in the weekly chart at this point. Price was coming down sharply. That bullish headwind perfectly caught the low and price recovered substantially from there. Then price retested the watermark created by the first bullish headwind, created a second bullish headwind. Price again tried to go down, and this Friday, this week actually, it reversed sharply, regained the watermark support created by the earlier bullish headwind, created a false downside breakout with a bull release signal with big move up 3, the most extreme bullish momentum in the weekly, and backdrop color flipped from magenta to cyan without going through yellow. In addition, you can see here it created a bullish reversal candle. Price went up with high volume and increasing volume. One way of saying is it has skyscraper volume and it is stair stepping up. Therefore, the weekly is looking very bullish right now. It shook out a large number of weak hands at this point when it created the false downside breakout. In the meantime, in daily, we had a bullish headwind here that gave us a profitable swing long trade. Price retested the watermark support created by the first bullish headwind, created a false downside breakout. Right at the bottom, it created big move up 3 with bull release signal at pendulum low. That was at this point. We wouldn't buy then because the trend line resistance was nearby. On Friday, it decisively broke above the trend line resistance. And I would like to look for stocks for buying. And here is one big difference from other systems. If I take a step back and ask the question, is CSI 300 in an uptrend? The answer is clearly no. It has many trend line resistances, no trend line support. It is not in an uptrend. Yes, if I look at the immediate trend line resistance, the downtrend is broken, but there are many more trend line resistances. And if I look at the white direction line that is sharply declining, the yellow direction line sharply declining. So no one will say it is in an uptrend. However, looking at the breakout on Friday, an extreme bullish momentum earlier at price extreme low, all this in daily, and a series of bullish signals in weekly. I am happy to look for buy setups in the China market, and that will be probably in stocks that are also at a low price level, somewhere like this at pendulum low or price extreme low. Those in fact give attractive low risk buying opportunities. So in China market, what is the trend? Downtrending. What is my preferred trading direction? Unambiguously long. What about India's Nifty 50? If the China market was the worst performer, India market was and is still the best performer, not only among the global markets, including USA market as well. It is very close to all-time high. How much percentage? Just 2.38, let's say 2.4% below all-time high, 2.2 or 2.3%. Very close to all-time high, and it broke above a trendline resistance in weekly on Friday. In fact, there was a trendline resistance in daily also that was also broken this week. At the same time, we can say that it is inside a range created by trendline support at the bottom, also watermark support at the bottom, and watermark resistance at the top. We can see that range in the weekly as well. Inside a range near the upper edge of the range, Friday's candle is bullish, weekly candle is bullish. My preferred trading direction will be short, but there is no short signal as of Friday's close. If price comes down from here, then there will be plenty of low risk shorting opportunities in the India market. Now remember, this is what I am analyzing using the external view, in this case market index. Individual stocks may be giving buying opportunities, and this is earnings season. Some of those buying opportunities may be driven by earnings. And though I am doing this global analysis in multiple markets, the same analysis can be applied in any country, whether USA market or non-USA markets. Same analysis can be done. And I'd like to show you one stock. Let's look at its fundamentals. I'll not look at the stocks industry. If you are trading in the Indian market, you may check out the stocks industry also to see if it is strong or relatively strong. The stock is APSE.NS. It is one of the companies of Adani Group, and Mr. Adani just a while ago was the second richest person in the world. Many of his companies are doing very well. APSE, yes, second richest person in the world, not second richest in the Indian market. This APSE, this company is involved in marine ports and services industry, and notice the earnings growth. It has a large and accelerating earnings growth in the latest quarter. Earnings was announced last week, if I am not wrong. Why I came to this stock is to explain that though the market itself is at a high level and I would not like to buy many stocks, there may be individual buying opportunities driven by earnings results. Let's look at the stock now using technical charts. FESE. The weekly shape and color both are bullish. the first bullish backdrop color after a number of weeks bearish color. In the daily, it came down sharply, started to go up following these trend line supports. On Friday, we have a bullish flow, bullish shape candle that went up from the trend line support after earnings. That move was associated with very high volume and big move up to the second base level of bullish momentum. This is giving me a low risk buying opportunity because there is a trend line support nearby. I could put stop just below that. And let me take this example to also illustrate how I sometimes use options. And this strategy is for people who are willing to buy the stock anyway for longer term. What I saw is that there is a trend line support. Let's say on Friday it is around 820. So I could short the put at 820. There is a high probability that this trend line support will hold. And if it doesn't hold, I will end up buying the stock at a lower price and hold it longer term, and I may also sell calls along the way if I am assigned on the stock. Now again, this strategy only applies if I am willing to hold the stock anyway for longer term investment. If not, then another way could be to short the put at, let's say, 820 and then buy a put at a lower level to create a short put vertical. Both will be feasible bullish trades in APSE using options. And of course, one could buy the stock outright for swing trading purposes and put stop just below the trend line support and book profit once the risk distance is covered. On Friday, in fact, I took a short put position in APSE and I shorted the put at the trend line support strike. I came to this example to illustrate that though market may be having one view, that is the external view, individual stocks, especially in the earnings sessions, can give a trade setup which is not necessarily aligned with the external market view. APSE, I have a long position in that. Now let's go back to the global markets. The last of the global markets that we study, UK market, FTSE index. In the daily, it is inside a triangle pattern closed near the upper edge of the triangle. Therefore, I am not going to buy now. Now, if you look at the trend line support, price was very nicely held by the trend line support. Looking at that, I would happily buy at the close on Thursday, which also gave a bullish flow signal and a go with flow or flow trend following long setup as well. The weekly was already cyan bullish color, so that confirmed a flow trend following long setup on Thursday. Stop would be just below the trend line support once again, and by Friday it hit the profit target. Now I would not like to buy or short because it is inside a triangle pattern. If it comes down, it will be very close to the trend line support. If it breaks out of the trend line resistance, it will come close to the next trend line resistance. So I'm not going to take any trade in either direction. What is the market condition? Sideways. My preferred trading direction, none. So we have only one market that is showing bullish view externally, that is China market. Breakout setup after long downtrend, and I don't have a bullish view on any of the other markets, at least as far as indices are concerned. If that is the case, what is the state of the global index that is part of Q global market breadth? Looking at global markets as a whole, ex USA, it's also inside a range, slowly going up, but it is coming close to the upper edge, not a time I would like to buy. Now, if we look at the USA market, let me open Q Elite on TradeStation also, but I'll continue with the Q Global on Metastock. Let's look at the USA market external view using market ETFs, QQQ. Last Friday was here. That was a bullish shape candle, very large percentage gain, and I explicitly mentioned in that market recap that I was not going to look for any buy setup. Why did I say that? Because some Q analysis, namely the bucket analysis, showed that the market was overbought, and in Q technique I don't buy in an overbought market. That was very accurate, meaning profitable analysis. Market dropped sharply. Now on Friday we have some bullish signal, not a lot. We have a bullish indecision at the bottom, and probably equally importantly, if not more importantly, we have a bullish reversal candle at price extreme low. We did have thrust extreme low earlier, at which point we had a bullish headwind. Price recovered enough from there for a bullish swing long trade, and now price tried to come down to that level, did not quite reach there, went up with a bullish reversal candle. Still, the Friday's candle color is bearish and the weekly candle is very bearish. There is no bullish signal as a no bullish setup rather in QQQ. As I mentioned, the external view of the market ETFs will probably not tell us to buy. However, I will show some attractive buying opportunities, that is using the other Q analysis. So QQQ in a downtrend, some bullish signal but not enough, and no Q long trade setup. Okay, Q Elite has opened. Let's look at SPY on Q Elite. Here we see some difference from QQQ in terms of backdrop weekly color. Here the backdrop color is bullish in SPY. In QQQ that was also bearish. In daily it came down but didn't come down enough to create a lower low. It has created higher low. Friday's candle color is still red. However, if price can go up next week, let's say Monday, and gives us a bullish flow candle, we already have bullish flow in weekly. The bullish flow in daily will signal a flow trend following long setup. So I am willing to look out for that. What is the trend? Currently the trend is still in an uptrend. If you look at higher low and higher high, made a swing low. All I am waiting for now is a bullish flow candle. So preferred trading direction here is long, trend is up. What about IWM, small cap ETF? Here also you notice the backdrop color is actually bullish, remaining bullish for 3 weeks in a row. Daily has higher low, higher high, did pull back, went up on Friday. What I am looking for now? I am looking for a bullish flow candle that will confirm a flow long setup. But will I prefer to take that? No. because unlike in SPY, we have a trend line resistance nearby. So I'll prefer to buy SPY underlying stocks like large cap stocks, not small cap stocks. If I look at this IWM chart and compare that with SPY chart. We still have another ETF to look at, DIA industrial stocks. Here also the backdrop color is bullish, clearly in an uptrend with higher low, higher high. Price pulled back and then went up on Friday. I could wait for a bullish color candle, but again that will bring me very close to the trend line resistance. So when I look at these four market ETFs, none of them have a buy setup as of Friday, but there are some bullish signals and several of the market ETFs are continuing in an uptrend. If I have to choose one kind of stock based on these external analysis, I'll choose large cap stocks, that is S&P 500 constituent stocks, and focus on them. Now let's look at some other angles why I am willing to look for buy setups. Look at the Q Edge sector industry stock advanced decline graph from 1 month to 1 day. Longer term 1 month and 10-day periods are bullish. 5-day period medium term turned bearish, more red than green in the graphs, and then 2-day and 1-day both turn bullish. So what does it mean in terms of technical analysis? If I had to imagine it as a technical chart, it is a stock in an uptrend longer term, dipped a little bit medium term, went up again short term. So that's creating a swing low and prices going up that may give us low risk buying opportunities. Is the market overbought, oversold? No. Bucket analysis shows that neither overbought condition is there nor oversold condition, and it is in fact bullish because 74% of the stocks are above mid Bollinger Band. That gives me reason to look for buy setups. What about technical breadth? Let's look at the weekly picture, balance between bullish and bearish signals using weekly interval. It's 61% bearish when I look at all signals. Strength signals also more bearish than bullish. Trend continuation 50-50. Reversals are bearish. So weekly period is bearish, and that is in sync with what we saw in Q Edge. The 5-day period sector industry stock advanced decline graph was also bearish. So 5-day period is bearish. What about Friday's signal? 82% of all signals are bullish. If I look at strength signals, 89%, almost 90% strength is bullish. Trend continuation 77% bullish, even reversals are bullish. So this is clearly a bullish picture, and I am happy to look for buy setups from this angle also. What about market internals? We have a market breadth study, very powerful single chart analysis. Let's look at that. Q market breadth total view, market internal health check. Let's look at last Friday first. We were here. Explicitly I mentioned I was not going to buy, and from the internal view, one reason was that earlier we had accumulation count of 3 here, 5 here, and then on last Friday we had a very bullish shape candle, but accumulation count was only 1. In a way, that was showing bearish divergence if you look at it in terms of internals. Price was making higher high, but accumulation count was going down. That was another reason last Friday I didn't want to look for any buy setup. What happened after that? Price came down. We had a large distribution count, followed by a doji candle, and then price went up. Yes, Friday we still have a doji candle, but price did go up, and there is a wisdom in the market that after price makes a swing low in a doji candle, then if price goes up, that up move may continue. So if we apply that wisdom, my preferred trading direction will be long. There is not enough bullish signal, but if I had to choose a trading direction, preferred trading direction based on this internal chart, that is bullish. If I look at the percentage of stocks above 50 MA, remember when I first turned bullish was here, when it crossed above the oversold red level. Since then it is going up, and you can say it is still creating higher high, higher low, didn't create a lower low yet, and price tilted up. This yellow line also tilted up, that is also allowing me to buy. What kind of stocks? Let's look at small cap versus large cap. Small cap is actually outperforming. Growth versus value, growth is underperforming, so value is outperforming. So if I look at internal health check, I am to favor small cap value, not growth. Why am I not looking at small cap stocks? Is because IWM is having a trend line resistance. Again, IWM having a trend line resistance is an external view. When you look at the internal view and then you look at the sector, industry strength, look at fundamental strength, it is earnings season, you may find small cap stocks also that are giving nice buy setups. You may also find large cap stocks that are giving nice buy setups. In any case, my view remains based on this internal view also, is that I am willing to look for buy setups. What about mega caps? Let's look at the mega cap custom index that is inside a range created by watermark support, trendline resistance right in the middle of the range. Friday's candle shape is indecisive, color is bearish, so I will rather not look for buy setup in mega cap. So I am left with either large cap stocks because SPY is looking more bullish and without having any trendline resistance, or I could look at small caps also because the internal view is showing that small cap is in favor, value is in favor. Again, it is earnings season, so there may be high growth stocks that are breaking out or showing bullish setups as well. In any case, my view is that I can look for buy setups. Now I'm going to carry out a few Q analysis, completing the 360 degrees analysis and find some buy setups. I will start that. In this case, today's session, I'll use a not top down, bottom up analysis, starting with technical signal, that is starting with Q finder. Let's do that. You may follow the steps carefully. I'll try to go through them slowly. First, the overall view on Friday, that is bullish across all categories. We already looked at that. Now, where from to look for buy setups? We could look for buy setups from different categories. These are the different categories and then subcategories. It is easier to find trades from categories that have 10% or more stocks in it. And I can see flow, that is trend following setup, is having more than 10% of stocks in it. So let's start with the stocks that are displaying bullish flow. I'm going to the bullish signals. We have all the different bullish signals. Flow is one of them. That is the possible trend following long setup. I am flagging for the bullish flows. I am now having 159 stocks, possible trend following long setups. But I'm not going to start opening this 159 stocks. I'm going to use the link to QVital to carry out a fundamental analysis, and only then only look at stocks that are fundamentally strong, either in terms of value or in terms of strength. So I started with thousands of stocks, did the technical analysis using Finder, shortlisted only trend following candidates. I had 159 from thousands of stocks. Now I am trying to carry out the fundamental analysis using QVital. No data is stored on my computer. What it is doing now is all these 159 stocks are now in QVital, and it is retrieving data from Metastock Zenith or Refinitiv. Once the data is retrieved, it will calculate the Q scorecard. Updated, let's look at the Q scorecard. 159 stocks, all of them are up. I can see that from the statistics, but I'm going to look for 1-star candidates, that is stocks that are either undervalued or having high earnings growth in the last quarter using this 1-star button. I am left with 87 stocks. All of them are up, all of them are possible flow trend following long setup candidates, and they are now, you can see, either undervalued or they are having high earnings growth. Am I going to look at these 87 stocks? No, not yet, because I have the ability to look at these stocks industry strength. I'm combining the forces from all angles. So now I'm going to look up the industry strength of these 87 stocks that are having possible trend following long setups, that are all fundamentally strong, but I am going to focus on only industries that are among top 20% of all industries. So I came to Q Edge. Let's sort it by strength, and I'm going to highlight only the scores, 1-day score, that is Friday score, with a shaded background. What that is showing is that the top 20% of industries. And if you want to know what is the percentage gain of these stocks, industries, not stocks, these industries on Friday, they are massive, from 3 point something to 9 point something percentage. So I'm happy to buy in any of these industries. So I don't need to look at other industries. There may be buy setups in other industries, but if I am having buy setups in the strongest of 20% industries, why bother to look at others? That is shortening my time period to find trades. So I am now going to focus up on only these top 20% industries, and with a single click I go back to QVital. Now I am left with how many stocks? 32 stocks. So what did I do? I had thousands of liquid stocks. I ran QFinder. I saw more than 10% of stocks gave bullish flow signal. I focused on them, 159. Then I used QVital to look at stocks that are either value stocks or growth stocks. I had some 80 something. Then I looked at stocks that are in top 20% industries. I'm left with 32 stocks. Now let's go back to QVital using a single click and see what are the technical signals on these 32 stocks. See, from 159, from thousands of stocks, now I am having 32. All these are having flow setup. That was my starting point. And remember what I told earlier, unlike many other techniques, Q techniques allow us to confidently buy stocks that are in a downtrend. What is an attractive buying position? When stocks are at price extreme low or pendulum low. So of all these stocks, why don't I click the red paint brush to look at stocks that are price extreme low? And out of them, I see several of them are also breaking out. Sort by that, I'm ending with only 5 stocks. So I started with thousands of stocks. I ended with only 5 stocks. What are these stocks again? These are having possible flow buy setups, and they happen to have breakout setups also. They are in top 20% strongest industries. They are either value stocks or high growth stocks. That's fantastic, isn't it? Now let's find one or two buy setups from these stocks. We'll need to look at their technical charts to come to a final decision. With a single click here, I am opening these 5 charts on Q Global. Q trade setups have unambiguous checklists. I'm applying the checklist in mind and I'm toggling through the stocks. If I find something interesting, I'll stop. So this is IP International Paper. I'm interested in this. I am keeping this stock. Moving on to the next one. MXL Maxliner. It has trendline resistance nearby. Though it has a breakout, it also has a trendline resistance nearby. I'm not interested. Close this. ADI Analog Devices. It did break out of a trendline resistance, but if I take a step back, it is still moving inside a narrow range. This is a stock to keep an eye on because it came near jump thrust low at price extreme low and then displayed big move up 3. I may be interested in this stock if it can break out of this very narrow sideways range. For now, let me close this. UMC broke out of some trendline resistance, but again it's actually moving in a very narrow range, and if that narrow range is broken, there is another trendline resistance. I'm not interested in it right now. Close this. Sand, SAND, Sandstrom Gold, looks like gold mining stock. Here I am interested. It broke out of two trendline resistances with a very bullish shape candle and a possible flow setup. Plus we had big move up 3 at price extreme low after hitting near jump thrust low. Jump thrust low didn't hit magenta but did hit the dark red color. So this is a stock I may be interested in. I look at it using weekly daily. Let's skip it, move on to the next one, back to IP. So I'm left with 2 stocks. Now I'm going to look at them using weekly daily, and in this case I'm going to use not only the Q template but also the additional HGSI like template to see if there are bullish signals from the alternative or momentum signals. Let's first look at the Q signals. Weekly backdrop bullish. Weekly, this is international paper IP, and notice what happened just before that. 3 bullish indecision in a row. As I mentioned in the master classes, one is important, and when I have series of them, then we take it even more seriously. And backdrop color turned bullish. In daily, it has a decisive breakout from trendline resistance, breakout from a triangle pattern, relative performance tilted up. This is happening at price extreme low. Remember the red paintbrush I used in Q Finder to focus only on stocks at price extreme low. Flow long setup. And if I look at alternative momentum signals, I have a MOBO breakout from a squeeze with a momentum. Bongo is bullish. So there are bullish signals in the momentum chart also, and Q setup is there. Now let's go back to IP's fundamentals using a single stock scorecard view, single page scorecard view. IP, entering the scorecard, we already know it is fundamentally strong. This single page view will show that even more clearly. Now I am honing into the two stocks I may consider buying. You may also consider them and do your own due diligence, of course. IP, I now generated a single stock scorecard, is undervalued. Secondary valuation is also undervalued. Funds are accumulating. That is nice to have. This is very strong. 100% of peer stocks of IP are up on Friday. What is the industry? Paper packaging. I can see it is paying a very decent dividend of 5.4%. The company makes money. Now let's look at its industry graph. See how I am navigating between the different systems to carry out my analysis and confirming the trade setup finally. Paper packaging industry scorecard, relative scorecard steadily going up. Alternative industry score, also paper packaging, steadily going up. On Friday, they went up by a significant percentage. And if I now go back to the industry rotation scorecard, of course, I started with this. The stock is among the top 20% stocks, and also it is showing top 20% accelerating industry. This paper packaging among the top 20% of strongest industries and showing high acceleration over 5 days and today also. So IP is a stock to consider buying. And the other stock was a gold miner. Let's look at that. Once again, I will apply the 3 chart template. In the weekly, we have bullish backdrop. This is SAND, Sandstorm Gold Miner. Bullish backdrop, bullish shape in weekly. Daily has a breakout from two trendline resistance with a very bullish shape candle and a possible flow setup. In the alternative momentum signals, we have bullish Bongo, MOBO breakout from a squeeze with a Kahuna, and we also have pocket pivot here, high volume. Again, having all these signals at price extreme low, that is what we looked for. Also have a bull release. So enough strong bullish signals in SAND, also SAND. Now let's go back to Q Vital to look at its single page in the single page stock scorecard. SAND. Retrieving data for the PR stocks. Calculation done. This is a gold miner, SAND. Has a small dividend. The company makes money. It's a high growth stock, accelerating and high earnings growth. Once again, 100% of peer stocks were up on Friday. Both earnings and revenue are accelerating. Year on year, quarterly revenue, year on year, quarterly earnings, both are accelerating. Now, again, let's look back at QH to look at the industry graphs. Gold miner, relative score steadily going up, alternate industry score steadily going up. On Friday, had a massive move up of almost 9%. Let's look at the relative scorecard. Gold miner among top 20% in strength and also acceleration over 2-day, 5-day, both are showing top 20% result. If you look at the score 146, that is very close to the best possible score. We have total 148 industries at present in the USA market. Now, will I prefer the gold miner over paper packaging stock, sand over IP? No, both of them are strong enough for me, and both are possible buy candidates, SAND as well as IP. Now, if SAND is a gold miner, why not also look at gold as a commodity to see how that is doing? GLD, gold ETF. We could always use Q Elite if we have Q Elite, Q Global Bot. Okay, this is GLD using Q Elite, same system implemented on TradeStation and Metastock. Weekly backdrop. This is weekly. The watermark support held very nicely. This week we have a strongly bullish shape and bullish color candle with a bullish reversal candle as well. Weekly is looking bullish. Daily found support at this trend line support, had a massive gap up and then continued to move up from there. We have big move up 3 at pendulum low after reaching very close to jump thrust low. Only thing is there is a trend line resistance nearby, so I am not going to buy GLD, but GLD is bullish enough to consider a buy setup in SAND. And if I look at the alternate signals, GLD is also having Bongo bullish, Mobo breakout from a squeeze with a Kahuna, plus a pocket pivot and also a BGU, Bible gap up, PSAR turned bullish. A lot of momentum signals also, and of course the Q signals are also bullish in daily and weekly. That allows me to even more confidently consider a buying position in one of the gold miners, that is this stock SAND. Last week I didn't want to look at any buy setups, even though Friday was very bullish in terms of market move, and this Friday market move is relatively muted. However, using the complete Q360 degrees analysis, I am confident about looking for possible buy setups. That is the value of the complete analysis, not just looking at the external view, that is ETF or index or futures view of the market. I'm at about 1 hour point. Let me end today's session here. Thanks a lot for joining. I look forward to seeing you in my next session, most likely next weekend, either Saturday or Sunday. Have a great weekend, and as these live examples show, there is no reason not to do that. Trade profitably. Thank you.